Ladies and gentlemen, happy Saturday. Welcome back to Dialar's Tactics. In this video, we're going to be going over Ceres. So it took me 180 summons, but I did manage to snag a copy. One copy to rule them all and in the darkness bind them. So let's dive into her. So first of all, I'm going to say that I am an admirer of her look. You know, a full leg tattoo. If someone's got a full limb tattoo, I'm a sucker for it. No neck tattoos, no face tattoos, please. But I do really enjoy this character model. So let's dive in. Passive number 1. 100% chance to trigger when an ally attacks, which is going to happen a lot. She's going to get a stack of this Peripetia. I'm just going to call it Peripetia because it's easy to say. For the rest of the battle. So 100% chance. And then 100% independent chance to grant each Serpent's Favor ally effect resistance increase 1. So you're going to be able to resist negative status effects for 2 turns. That's if you have this thing maxed. So that right there, it's always nice to have passives or skills that it's 100%, right? If it's 40, 50%, you can't really rely on that. A little too RNG for my liking. Passive number 2 that I only got one. I only have activated. I don't even have any skill ups in it. When using skill 1, now this will change with some chivalries, but if you get, I think it's chivalry 3. This makes it when using any skill. But for now, at base level at C0, when using skill 1, she's going to remove all those stacks of Peripetia when she has 3 or more. And I guess we got to show you what that is. So a Peripetia is effect accuracy plus 10. And she turns effect accuracy into attack. And, you know, obviously it makes her land status effects. So she's going to remove these when using skill 1 when she has 3 or more stacks. And when she does that, she's going to remove 2 enemy buffs on the opposite side of the battlefield. You know, only 2, but, you know, given the fact that your allies are going to be attacking a lot, you know, this is going to happen throughout the battle. And 100% chance when using skill 1, which she's also going to do when she assists, which you're going to see. 100% chance to charge each Serpent's ally or Serpent's Favor ally's attack gauge by 20%. Now, you can get this down to a 2-turn cooldown. At 4 turns, it's nice the first time to get this attack gauge up to like your Morgan or your Iwaret or your Sigrun or your Clarison or your Sarah. But at 4 turns, it is slightly ineffective. So you really do want to max this out to get that down to 2. And get this up to Chivalry 3, which is going to help enhance this. But not bad. And then passive number 3, at the start of battle, I always like these. 100% independent chance to grant each ally Pain Connection debuff, which, when hit by a debuff, applies the debuff to the target, right? So you get afflicted with the debuff, you get one. You inflict me, I inflict you, right? You talking to me, I'm talking to you. You talking to me, I'm talking to you. That's kind of how that works, right? And then 100% chance to also grant mirror image to the ally with the lowest HP. So obviously not your healer or your tank, probably a DPS. It's going to give them this mirror image for 2 turns. Now, this can be enhanced through Chivalry 8. But up until then, it's only going to be reflecting 50% of the damage taken that you take. You're going to get a 100% chance to gain attack increase 1 for 2 turns when hit, when you have this buff on you. And 100% chance to grant mirror image to 1 random ally for 1 turn. So she's going to give it to DPS for 2 turns. If they do not get hit, well, then, then it's gone, right? So this ally is going to get it for 2 turns, and in those 2 turns, they have to get hit. Because if they do, then they're going to pass it on to another ally for 1 turn. For 1 turn. Removed after 1 use. Right? Obviously. You get hit, it's gone. So that's her passives. Kind of cool. You know, a lot of support in there. A lot of nice stuff. A lot of, you know, cleanses and purges and clear buffs. A lot of good stuff. Now let's look at her relics. So she comes in the wind. Currently, if you're watching this at the time of her release or her first release, They are selling her other 2 relics, but I'm just going to say it right here, they're probably not needed. Her wind relic is just fine. It is more than sufficient for what you're going to use her in. In fact, there's some instances that I like the wind relic more. I kind of like the S3 more on the wind than anyone else. So let's start on the S3s. So for wind, 100% independent chance when you use your S3 to grant each ally attack gauge decreased immunity for 1 turn. Now, where this is really handy, or why this is really handy, is because Ceres has the highest base speed in the game. We can go look at that after when we review her kit. But she's, I think it's 20 or 30 higher than Morgan, who was previously had the highest base speed in the game. So if you get her really, really fast, your Morgan doesn't have to be as fast, because you can just slap this S3 on, and it's going to give all your allies that attack gauge decreased immunity. So even if your enemy opposing team has a Morgan that's faster than your Morgan, it's not going to make any difference, because that S2 that Morgan chucks out isn't going to be able to reduce your attack gauge. In fact, it's not going to be able to reduce anybody's attack gauge. So this kind of dictates, if you're just on this first line, that you want her as fast as possible, which we'll get into in the gearing. Also, on S3, 100% independent chance to inflict attack decrease 1 on each enemy for 2 turns. That's good. That's 20% decreased attack. 90% independent chance, and you can get this up to 100 to remove 2 buffs from each enemy. 2 buffs from each enemy. And remember that her passive 3, I do believe, also removes buffs. Yes, right here. Hit by a debuff, apply a debuff. No, it was this one. When using skill 1 every 2 turns, if you got a max, it's going to remove 2 enemy buffs from the battlefield. So I guess we can just go, oh, no, we want to compare. So that S3 is pretty stacked already, and you're going to get a 100% chance to grant a vigor. And there's no cooldown on this. It's every time. So very, very cool. If you level it up completely, then you're going to number of immunity turns is going to go up to 2, which is really, really nice. And then, yes, this is going to be 100% chance. So it's all 100% chance to do everything, and then this decreased or attack gauge decreased immunity is going to be for 2 turns. That's kind of cool. So now let's look at the other ones. Let's compare their S3s. So Frost, I do like Frost. I do like it. Why? Because it's basically you're not going to get any of that attack gauge immunity, which is really nice, and you're not going to get that increased vigor, which in my opinion makes it worse than wind. But what's nice is if you really want to focus on stripping buffs, you see that this S3 is now an attacking ability, and it has, you can get this up to 100% chance for the last 3 hits to remove a buff. But keep in mind, it's going to attack random enemies 1 at a time, 5 times. Total damage, blah, 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 and then you're going to turn accuracy into attack. So each enemy is going to take 5 hits from this S3. And I'm assuming that it's going to be the last 3 of each is going to strip buffs. So you're going to remove, say, 3 buffs from each enemy is how I read this if you have the Frost one. So if you really want to focus on stripping buffs, Frost might be the way to go. Fire isn't as good. It's attack all enemies 2 times, just doing this again, damage again, and an 80% chance for the last hit to remove 1 buff. So if anything, Wind has a really good S3. Frost has a different S3. If you want to focus on that buff removal, that'd be the one to go. If you want to do more damage with your Ceres, Frost would be the way to go, because that S3 also does attack. But I do like everything you get from this one, plus that 100% chance to charge Vigor by 1 every time you use your S3 basically makes it an S2, right? A 2 Vigor cost ability. So let your conscience be your guide, but I like Wind more for the S3. Now, if we're going to look at just the S2 on the Wind, 100% chance to grant Reflect State to 1 ally for 1 turn. Now, remember her passive right here already at the start of battle gives this mirror image, which also has a reflect damage component to it. Now, her relics, her S2, also has a different word for it. It's not mirror state, but reflection state, which is upon being hit, applies a status that deals a set proportion of damage received to the target who attacks. So it's the same thing it's going to reflect some damage back. Unfortunately, we don't know what that proportion is. They should really just say 20%, 30%, but we don't know. And on this S2, 100% independent chance to inflict attack, decrease 1 on each frost enemy for 2 turns, which is niche, which makes it kind of irrelevant in my opinion. Max this out, you're going to get this reflect state on 1 ally for 2 turns. 2 turns of reflect damage. Now, if we go look at the frost and the fire, which has similar S2s, you're still going to get that reflect state for 2 turns. But you see here, oh, here's the damage. Sorry, everyone was probably screaming at me. So the damage for this reflection state right there, it's 20%. 20%. I knew that. I realized that as soon as I looked at the frost, because this is why I like the frost S2. You're going to get that 2 turns of reflection state, but if you look down here, it's actually 40% reflect damage. And the frost and the fire are both going to have kind of the similar second lines of this ability. Is just they're going to apply that attack decrease 1 on the opposing opposite element. So obviously frost to fire, and then fire to wind. If we look at fire, her S2, again, 40% reflect damage, and then it's going after storm element. So S2s are all very similar. The frost and the fire are going to get more damage on the reflect state, but can you really beat this wind S3, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I'm wrong? I don't know. I don't think I'm wrong. And then the S1s are all the same. Fire, it's just an attack. And this is what she's going to be doing when she assists off of every attack. Because I think that was her P1. I could have swore she attacks when an ally attacks. 100% chance when using skill 1. Could have swore she counterattacked. Is that in her chivalry? 100% chance to trigger when an ally attacks. She doesn't attack there. When using skill 1. But when does she use skill 1? Huh. Why am I feel like I'm missing that? Oh well. She assists off of your allies though. I don't know where it is. Why am I not seeing this? But I don't want to spend all day on it. So for relics, wind, in my opinion, takes the cake, right? Wind is just fine, but if you wanted to, I wouldn't recommend buying the other ones. But if you wanted to, I would probably go frost, because I like the frost S3 more than the fire S3, right? Fire S3 just seems the worst. All right, let's talk about gear. Okay. So we saw that you want this character going really, really fast, right? You want to be the first one going out on the battlefield, so you can give all of your allies that attack decrease immunity for 2 turns when it's maxed out. As such, you can kind of gear her 2 different ways. You can go speed and accuracy, because remember, accuracy is going to give her higher attack values. So you can go speed and accuracy, or you can go vigor and accuracy. If you get an unlimited, if you get like an S tier, God tier speed rolls on a vigor set, sure, run vigor, right? Then she's going to use her S3, and it's going to, what? So she's going to spend 2, gain 2, so it's a net wash, right? So it's like she can just spam the S3 over and over and over and over and over again. Although can she? She's got to use the ability, then she generates the vigor. So she always has to have that 3. So keep that in mind when you're gearing her. You should obviously gear her for effect accuracy on the neck. You want to go attack speed on the ring. You want to go attack speed on the orb. You want to go effect accuracy on the belt. Now, you should probably go something like HP percentage on the earrings, because you kind of want to keep her alive. But, use your best one. Really, I would say, like, for me, I am, defense, HP, and since this one has that attack speed +1, I'm not really minding giving up a little HP percentage on the primary stat for this secondary stat of attack speed. So, ideally, effect accuracy, HP percentage, attack speed, effect accuracy percentage, attack speed, and then something like HP or endurance on the banner. And then obviously for secondaries, you want to prioritize attack speed first, in my opinion, then effect accuracy, then maybe HP percentage, then attack percentage, and then like defense percentage, if I had to hazard a guess. You see, how did I do? So there's attack speed, no effect accuracy. I failed. Attack speed, no effect accuracy. I failed. There we go. Attack speed and effect accuracy. I'm winning. No effect accuracy there. Oof, I'm not doing too good. Attack speed. Here's some effect accuracy, and on attack speed. So that one's nice. And then this one, attack speed, no effect accuracy. Effect accuracy, no. And this is an attack speed. So not too bad. I don't got her geared too bad. You see her effect accuracy is 100%, and her speed is only 275. That's given the fact that I probably don't have any chivalries into her. Now, let's look at the chivalries. Okay, so chivalry number 1. So mirror reversal, which is her S or her P3, also gives this twist of fate. 100% independent chance to grant each ally twist of fate for 2 turns. Let's go back and make sure we're talking about right on mirrored state. Yes. Yes, mirror reversal. So this is where she gets the pain connection, which is that you give me a debuff, I give you a debuff, and she has that mirror image, which is, what is it, 50% damage reflection. Her chivalry 1's going to give you another effect, so 100% independent chance to grant each allies as well at the start of battle. Twist of fate, meaning triggers when inflicted with a debuff. You're just going to cleanse a debuff. So you're going to get hit with the debuff. You're going to give it back to them. You're going to cleanse it off yourself. Not essential, but kind of nice. Her S2 or C2 is just effect accuracy. 20%. That's big, so she's going to hit harder. And then her S3. So this is her passive 2. So your ally, or let's see. Let's go look at passive 2. So when using skill 1, right, you're going to give this attack gauge, and you're going to give that you're going to remove the parapecia. I already said it wrong. And you're going to give strips of buffs from the enemies. You're also going to grant an ally perseverance for 1 turn. This is basically a cheat death. When a target receives fatal damage, ignore the damage. So, say like you're at 50% health, and Bedivere's coming in for the kill. Since his attack would kill you, it just ignores the damage. So it's not like you're gonna go down to 0% health and then stay, not dead, not be dead. If the damage would have killed you, it negates the damage altogether. So it's more of a damage mitigation versus a cheat death. But, that's how this works. So the perseverance will recharge the number of times you can persevere each turn. What does that mean? Perseverance recharges the number of times you can persevere each turn. So how I'm reading that is, if you receive fatal damage, you don't die. If they attack you again, you don't die. Kind of weird wording on that one. Her C4, this one's really nice, actually. Changes mirrors counter activation. This is her mirrors. Oh, wait. Additional skill effect for skill 2. So this is not her passive. Sorry, I misspoke. Skill 2. This is the one. This is the P2. Changes. Remember how it said when using S1? Now it's whenever. Changes mirror counters activation condition to when using a skill, any skill. And what you're doing is, instead of that buff removal, you're going to get buff explosion. So you're not just going to strip the buffs. You're going to make them explode, doing damage to the target. Detonates all active buffs on the target instead of, what was it, 2? Yes. Independent chance to remove 2 of each enemy's buffs. Each enemy's buffs. Now, this just says, I don't know if it's still going to be each enemy's buffs explode. Now this reads to me, effects on the target. I think it's still going to be affect each enemy with this buff explosion. So it is going to be an AoE damage ability, if I'm reading this correctly. Then we got some attack, and we got 20 attack speed, just like Morgan. Attack percentage, HP defense, and then let's just skip ahead to the C9, 15 more, so just like Morgan, so she can get 35 extra speed from her chivalries. Now this one, C8, this is the one that's going to make her a transformational hero. So changes the effects of mirror image, which remember, mirror image is coming from this P3 at the start of battle. So it's only at the start of battle. 100% chance to grant mirror image to the ally with the lowest HP for 2 turns. Now what this does is it's going to change this mirror image to kaleidoscopic blessing. Now what that does is, remember how mirror image was 50%? Well, for now, you see, you're gonna take 50% less damage. So when they hit you, you're just gonna shrug it off. But whatever they hit you with, you're gonna reflect it 200% of the damage taken back, and 100% chance to gain attack increase 1 for 2 turns, and 100% chance to grant mirror image to 1 random ally for 1 turn. So you are still gonna pass the mirror image on, but at the start of battle, you're gonna start with this kaleidoscopic blessing, which is basically going to nuke whoever tries to attack you, which is really, really nice. So at C0, she's still okay. She's still speed lead. She still does things. But I don't think until you get her up to like that C9, when she's going to be lightning fast, and she's going to have the C8 as well, the rest of her kit, that is when she's going to be like God tier, S tier champion. I think I'm going to have to put her pretty high on my tier list, but the caveat is C9, or at least C8. So we talked about her passives. I still don't see where she assists. 100% chance to trigger when an ally attacks. I could have swore she attacked. I know she does it in game when using skill 1. Meh. Oh well. I swear she attacks when your ally attacks, because I've seen it happen. So let's go look really quickly at, like I told you, she has the highest base speed in the game. Let's go over to our codex. So Morgan was the previous highest speed character. So you see at Chivalry 10, she has a base speed of 130. 130? Yeah, that's all done. That's all maxed. Yeah. Let's go max. Yeah, 130. 130 base speed. Now, let's look at Ceres. Where is she? Where is she? Boom. All right. 130 versus 142. So it's not the 20 that I said it was, or the 30. It's 12. But still, 12, that's like a whole nother gear piece. A 3-roll, or I think a 2-roll can get up to that. So that's decent. That's decent. That's very decent. So she's really, really fast. You want to build her for speed, unless you have a god tier vigor set with a lot of speed secondaries. So that'll work. Now, showing her off, I'm really struggling with her. Her main use is going to be PvP. So let's just go do a fight. This guy's only got 38,000 power. Let's pick on him. So let's make sure my Morgan is in her speed gear set. So the problem is, in my current gear set, I'm not that fast, so she's not getting out ahead of my Morgan. So she's not going to get out that attack gauge decrease immunity, which I would really like. Which means if the enemy's Morgan is faster, which I don't think it will be, given that it's only C5, she's going to be missing out on a lot of her kit. So let's just slow this down and take this off of auto. So normally I'm faster, so let's just S2. Boom. Right? Boom, boom. Now she's the next. See, she just assisted. See? She assisted. So now let's do the S3. So now we're going to have that attack gauge decrease immunity on all my allies for 1 turn. Now we're going to speed up good old Clarison. Or Clarison's going to do her S2. She's going to speed up everybody on my team. And then she's going to do that, which was kind of nice. I think that was Bedivir's ability. And then Bedivere is going to come in, and he's going to go, nighty-night. Bye-bye. I don't have Iwarit. If I did have Iwarit, I would probably want to run him on this team. You see that Parapitia loading up on the on her. She has how many? Can't really tell how many she's got. And there she just also assisted. So now let's do her S2, which is going to give that reflect state. But I don't think Lance here is going to get a chance to do some reflection. No, he's not. You tried, Lance. You tried. But we're going to put you to sleep. So this is her primary use, especially since, yes, she does have a PvP, so I think her lead gives 20% speed in Arena and Clan v Clan. So basically the PvP modes, right? So that's as far as I'm going to show you. We're going to go over now. I want to... Let's go like this. So I'm going to recommend you to this guy right here. Loki Magics. Go find his channel. Look him up on YouTube. And give him a subscribe. Let's get him up to... He's got 928 subscribers. He's moving at a pretty quick pace. Let's get him over to 1,000 because you see here, he's a big old whale. He's a big old kraken, that Loki. I'm like a little baby dolphin. I've really dialed down my mobile game spending. But you see here, he pulled 710 summons for Ceres. And he's got her up at good old C10. Now, I know that his summoning session was a little bit poor this time around, but you see before he took her to C10, he did do a C0 review. So you can go check out him using her in action at C0. And then you can see her at C10. So I really like how Loki did the comparison at base level, which we kind of just did in this video. But then he shows her the difference in action at C10. And Loki is a PvP. That's kind of his area of expertise. I'm not saying he's not great in the game everywhere else. It's just the majority of his videos, I think PvP is what gets his rocks off. Sorry, Loki. So everyone that watches this video, please go give him a follow. If you watch my stuff, you're going to like his stuff too. I'm hoping that everyone that watches me is already subscribed to him. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up the deep dive on good old Ceres. I hope that gave you some pointers. Hope that solved all your questions. If it didn't solve all your questions, you can either join my Discord, which is linked in the description, or you can just use the comment section. But Discord is the best for asking questions. All right, where is she? There she is. Let's get a good look at this model again. Look at that tattoo. She can step on my neck with those boots. Ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to do my little content creator spiel here now. So thank you to all my supporters. I have sent out the first round of... That is one epic profile. Oh, wait, you can't see it. I got to get me out of here. You're missing out. You're missing out. Check out that hourglass figure. Strut, baby, strut. All right, I'm going to get canceled. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, CC stuff. So, I have sent out the first rounds. It was 10 normal summons, a bunch of stamina, or 100 stamina and 100,000 gold. We do have the next mission for the CCs, so, expect another, I think it is the exact same reward. So, 10 normal summons, 100 stamina, and 100,000 gold. That'll be coming out next week, but the link is to be a supporter of mine is in the description of this video if you do deem my stuff worthy of your attention. They did break, Netmarble did break my avatar, which is unfortunately, and I haven't figured out how to get it back yet. It is corrupted, so I'm working on it, but you can see if you look in the description, it'll say Dialar's Tactics in parentheses because they still haven't updated my channel name either. So check out all the links in the description. Thank you to everyone that watched this video. Thank you to everyone that supported me. Go check out Loki's Magics. Give him a subscribe. I hope to see him at 1,000 tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow, because this is going to be released tomorrow morning. Till then, ladies and gentlemen, have a good weekend. Cheers, peace. Bye-bye.